The development of Altro Whiterock came from one of our sales consultants at the time going to visit North America on holiday, and he saw a prototype, a concept of the product, brought that idea back to the UK, worked with the senior management at the time to develop it further, to make sure the specification was completely correct, and then we launched it onto the market in the early 1980s, and of course the rest is history.
So when Whiterock came along and I got hold of a sample of it, I thought, well, that will never catch on, because I was trying to transfer the skills in my mind of being what I could do with flexible vinyl compared to what I'd be able to do with a piece of something that was as stiff as a piece of hardboard. But it's just a different, slightly different skill set.
To meet the demands of our core sectors like critical hygiene applications or commercial kitchens, we introduced back then a white sheet, which today is known as Altro Whiterock White. But if we look at where we are today, our journey has been remarkable. We introduced colors, our Altro Whiterock Satins and Altro Whiterock Chameleon ranges. We introduced Altro Whiterock wall designs into the markets, and we now also have a fully customizable sheet available, Altro Whiterock DigiClad Custom. So over the years, we've taken the original Whiterock product and developed it to where we are today. And that's because we listened to feedback from customers and we provided them solutions for their individual needs.
And Whiterock, particularly with some of the great colours we have and designs that we have now, just make a fabulous difference to any space. So I think that's what I like, the fact that within a very short time you can transform the ordinary into something quite extraordinary.
Of course, it was much easier to name products in those days. It wasn't so difficult. And of course, the product is called Whiterock. It is a white sheet, and of course, it's as hard as rock. And for those of you that have seen the Altro YouTube channel, you will have seen a video on there of someone using a sledgehammer to try and crack Whiterock. And of course, they can't do it. It is literally as hard as rock. So the name is nothing more than Whiterock, white sheet, hard as rock.
The foundation project was a project we completed in Johannesburg. So the actual reason for the project was to create a vehicle which could supply medical and it could also supply goods that people would use because they couldn't get into the cities. And because of the patterns and the designs, children also turn up and they can feel safe. It's a safe environment. So for me, that is the most life-changing project that I've ever worked on. And it was all to do with that, the foundation project from Altro. So that's something that I'll always remember.
The best development I consider is the fact that you can now weld the joints. In the early stages of Whiterock, it was a PVC joint strip and that was it, or a silicon joint, which discoloured very quickly. The advent of the welded joint has basically made an almost seamless product, which means that if you're looking down a corridor of 20, 30 metres and you've just got a welded joint there, you've got a seamless product that runs all the way down. And I think that's basically, that has made the product what it is today.
I think one of my favourite installations has to be the paediatric A&E at Hillington Hospital. And what I particularly like is the way they've used our Altro Whiterock Satins in conjunction with Altro Whiterock DigiClad Custom. And they just created a very child-friendly, a very child-centered space. So the designs that they chose for Altro Whiterock DigiClad Custom are from a trail that is very known or very famous for the locals there, and they also incorporated animals, so foxes, owls, flowers, so all things that are known and familiar to children. And for me personally, it's just it's an amazing concept, and it just really demonstrates how you can transform spaces with our walling solutions from a very clinical, boring, cold space to something that's warm, inviting, welcoming.
When you come to Altro, you don't buy a sheet, you buy a system. From the adhesives to the sheets to the joint systems. Once it's installed, you not only get a system that you've purchased, you also get the team that's behind the system. So my position and the team that I work with, who are a fantastic team of men and women who work together to ensure that all these systems work. If you add all those together, it's not just a sheet you're buying knowledge and a history of a product that actually works.
I would always recommend Altro Whiterock. Everybody who sees it Once they see the palette of colours, once they see digiclad, once they see the forming of corners, what you can do with it, it transforms areas. And there were areas that were considered to be back of house areas really weren't that important, which now look absolutely fantastic, and people are proud to have those buildings and have Whiterock in those buildings. So yeah, definitely I would recommend it.
And it has caught on, so contrary to what I believed at the very beginning, I was completely wrong. It's a fabulous product.